It's been a rough year for everyone, and I'd love nothing more than to look forward to a cruise. So when will we be able to get back out there? I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. A quick thanks to everyone for subscribing to my channel. I do really appreciate it. And if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. For most of us, 2020 is going to be synonymous with staying home and not doing particularly much. If you have itchy feet like I do, you probably want something to look forward to, and a cruise is something very nice to have in the pipeline. So will cruising be coming back anytime soon? If you've been following along, you might know that the Center for Disease Control in the US recently announced that cruising could resume, subject to a huge range of caveats and requirements. As a result of that decision, US-based cruise lines cancelled the remainder of their 2020 voyages departing from the US whilst they get themselves ready to start in 2021. The decisions that the CDC made don't necessarily have a direct effect on Australia. However, they may be used in some form as a guideline for local authorities to get cruising to resume back down under. One of the CDC requirements for departures from the US is that cruises can't be longer than 7 days, and there are also strict limitations on port days and shore tours. However, we are uniquely positioned in Australia, both geographically and from our health perspective. Being isolated down at the bottom of the earth has its perks. For a start, many of us are used to domestic voyages, from Queensland coastal cruises, Tasmania, and even around Australia. This island continent is so big that domestic voyages aren't a downside at all. Heck, even cruises to nowhere are popular. We've also managed to get to a fairly consistent level of health in the community with regards to very low transmission of the virus, and whilst our international border remains closed to tourism, this is something that can hopefully be maintained. In my perfect world, our local authorities would allow a cruise line, say P&O, to recommence cruising as somewhat of a pilot program, starting at first with short voyages to nowhere and then perhaps to other towns and cities within Australia. Bring one of the P&O ships home with staff that have been tested and quarantined, and then get things going. Of course, all safety protocols such as pre-cruise testing, mask wearing and social distancing would need to be adhered to as required and as recommended by the Cruise Line International Association. It might not be ideal, but it would definitely get things moving again, and it would also allow the path to be paved for things to resume in a more normal way. At the time of recording this video, P&O have just recently announced a further extension to their suspension of cruising through to February, at which point Pacific Explorer, their one and only operating ship, will actually be moved to Auckland. This means that the next scheduled Australian departure is the Pacific Adventure maiden voyage from Sydney on April 30th, 2021. And I can tell you that whatever cruise leaves Sydney first is where you'll find me. I realize that it's not for everyone, and many people are willing and sort of happy to wait and see what happens. I've got many clients that have booked for late 2021 and into 2022, which is fantastic. I'm probably just a little bit more eager than the average person, and I know some of you are with me in that as well. So tell me your thoughts, let me know what you think. Would you get on a cruise early next year if it started again? And how would you feel about having to adhere to some of the expected requirements like mask wearing, social distancing, and testing before, perhaps during, and then after your cruise? As we head towards the end of 2020, I think I'm just so keen, like many of you are, for 2021. But hopefully 2021 will actually look better than what we've been dealing with so far. And I think that's why I keep looking forward, trying to imagine how things will hopefully work out. So wherever you are out there, thanks for watching, stay safe. I do appreciate you watching my videos. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do. If you are looking for a cruise, whether that would be the April 30th voyage on Pacific Adventure from Sydney or something further afield, you can head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguide.com.au. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Cruise and Travel Guide. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. So when will we be able? When will we be able? When will we? When will we? When will we? When will we? If you have itchy feet like I do. And there are, of course, strict port restrictions. One of the CDC requirements for... In my perfect world, our local authority... In my perfect world, our local authorities would allow a cruise line.